Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44. I hear a lot of people are kind of upset at the Nets. Not so much at the Lakers, but the Nets for just loading up the deck. To be honest with you, the LaMarcus Aldridge signing feels like overkill to a lot of people. Uh, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. I think what people need to understand in this regard is every time a new season arrives, you have vets who are taking steps backwards in their careers. Guys who you've known to be all stars for however long um, start to settle into roles or role playing roles, preparing for retirement. Preparing for the next step of their lives. And you have a guy like Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge in 2021. That's exactly who they are. You know what I mean? So as to where the transition from seeing a guy like we saw this with Carmelo Anthony, for example, when he left the Knicks and went to OKC. Now, everybody thought he was going to OKC as the same player he was at the Knicks, but to be honest, that was the first year where he wasn't going to be a superstar. And he just had to catch up to the understanding of what his role was going to be. It crept up on him. But guys like LaMarcus Aldridge, they've had those transitions take place on one team. They didn't leave one team and then next year they were somebody else. LaMarcus Aldridge got to the San Antonio Spurs, and he was still the guy he had left Portland being. He was a all-star, perennial all-star, expected to make many all-star teams in the future. He leaves San Antonio as a guy who's exiting that status, who's now entering role-playing status, retirement status. So I don't look at him as a part of the Nets stacking the deck. In fact, I think the Lakers are more stacked than the Nets because the players that we have in those roles are in their primes. You see that? And that was what people have lost in this process of looking at the Lakers and looking at the Nets. The Lakers were a stacked team to start the season. The only thing that kept us from being complete and utter dominant team, a complete and utter dominant team, was the fact that AD and LeBron went down. That is literally it. And Dennis Schroeder had to walk away with COVID, the COVID protocol, I should say. That's what set us back. That is what happened to the Lakers. The pieces that we had fit, and they fit well. We were dominating everybody. We beat everybody. We didn't have any issues until we started having those issues with injuries. So our team has role players who are simply more decorated role players than the Nets in terms of Dennis Schroeder, KCP, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma. These are all guys, if they went to, say, Orlando, they'd be the best players on the team. Each and every one of those guys would be the best player in Orlando right now. You see what I'm saying? As to where if you take Blake Griffin, put him in Orlando, guess what? Same role. They're probably buying him out. You put LaMarcus Aldridge on Orlando right now, guess what? Same role. They're probably buying him out. You understand what I'm saying? DeAndre Jordan, probably the same thing. Probably getting bought out. That's the reality of the Nets. That's why I didn't really love the LaMarcus Aldridge signing, because I think that you're picking up a guy. This is like them getting Marc Gasol in my mind. Like, if you're thinking of Marc Gasol like Marc Gasol from the Memphis days, then you're going to be so dang disappointed it's not even worth talking about. If you're thinking about you think you're going to see LaMarcus Aldridge from the Portland days, boy, woo, don't put your money on that. You think you're going to see Blake Griffin, the guy that jumped over Ikea? Woo, do not put your money on that. That's all I'm saying. And those guys are playing prominent roles on this team. They're the first guys off the bench on that Nets team. That team ain't as deep as y'all think it is. I'm a big believer in Joe Harris. I think he's a real one on the role in terms of role playing. I believe in Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a real one in terms of role playing. Unfortunately, he's out for the season. Claxton, he'll be there soon. His shooting percentages is what stands out about Claxton, but he doesn't rebound the ball like a madman. He doesn't block shots like a madman. He's a nice young big who will turn into something, but probably a scorer. That's what I'm just. It looks like he's not going to be a defensive rebounder type of guy, but more so somebody who puts points on the board. So I look at him, and then I look who else. Who else is on that team? What's his name? Jeff Green, buyout candidate for the Magic. You see what I'm saying here? I guess my point has already been made. When you get outside of those three, Kyrie, and James, After that, they got Joe Harris, and then the players after that are all guys that probably wouldn't stay on a bad team because they'd be bought out and be trying to find their way to a team like the Nets. So, yeah, no, the Nets aren't as stacked as people think they are. Now, the names are sexy. The names are decorated. These guys will be in the Hall of Fame, some of them. But the reality is they're not going to give you that kind of production in 2021. As to where with the Lakers, yeah, you could for sure expect to get production out of all of the guys that we got, not named Wesley Matthews and Marc Gasol. We know who the guys on our team who can't play anymore. Those are the two. We know who they are. Everybody who's a Laker fan, everybody who watches the Lakers enough knows who's on our team that shouldn't be here in terms of production. Those are the guys. That's it. Everybody else on our team, including our youngsters, are good. We're deep as hell, and we don't get enough credit for being deep. Someone call for 14?
Negative 18.
10-4. Had to make sure. Still at work. But, yeah, so it's one of those situations where it's like, everybody relax. Go ahead and relax, everybody. You go sit down, take a chill pill, grab some popcorn. You know what I'm saying? My attitude about the Nets has changed since the Lakers got Drummond. And they're going to have to come back healthy. Now we've kind of evened up the score, in my opinion, in terms of talent to talent. Even though we don't have a James Harden necessarily answer for them. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are better than their best players. Sorry, KD. Bron is still better than you. I know there are people who don't agree with that. I do not care. I don't care. It is what it is. There is one greater. His name is Bron. And, and a lot of people would rate James Harden above AD at this stage in their careers. I would too. That's fair. I'm not going to argue with that. But what I will say is, you can't make up that size. You can't make up that size. No, the size that we're putting on the floor against the Nets, they have no answer for it. And not only are they not very good at having size on the floor this year, but they're very bad defensively overall. Perimeter defense, interior defense, anywhere on the defensive side of the ball, they're bad this year. Bad. So it's going to be a scoring contest. And unfortunately for them, we have a lot of scoring weapons. We can run it up to 150. It's not going to be a problem. So I ask everybody to just understand the Nets are going to win the championship if the Lakers are not able to recover from injury, or if we have a situation where we have relapses in injuries to our big stars. Okay? That's what's going to happen. We can't beat them if AD and Bron are laboring. But if they are not laboring, I don't particularly think we're going to have a whole lot of success stopping KD. So whatever he does, he's probably going to do, and ain't nothing we can really do about it. But I think they're going to have trouble stopping AD. Whatever he's going to do, they're going to have nothing to do about it. James Harden, LeBron James, some could say they're going to cancel each other out with their offensive play. And then Kyrie Irving and Andre Drummond, well, to be honest with you, I'm going to take the bigger guy. That's how I look at it. And then, as I've already illustrated to you guys, our role players should, in theory, be more effective than theirs. Joe Harris is the wild card over there. So, it is what it is, man. Do I think this is going to be a full series? Yeah, I think that can go 7 at this point. And if everybody's healthy, we should win that 7th game. They should have home court advantage. That may count for something, but I don't think LeBron's afraid of the bright lights. I don't think AD is. We've already won. So at this point, it's just about defending our championship and finding ourselves healthy. So I think guys should take their time and healthy, coming back healthy. Take your time, work your progressions. Do your thing. Don't worry too much about our record at this point. Now that we got Dre in here, that gives us a little bit of a breather, a sigh of relief. We could throw him out there, drop him on the floor, give us 40 minutes a game until those guys get back. He'll average 15 rebounds or 15 points and a block or two, and we'll probably go 500 till those guys get back. You know what I mean? I think Dre does change life, but he's not going to affect wins to that degree. But we will win some of the games that we weren't supposed to, and that matters in this situation. So what we want to do is try to get out of this play-in situation, which means we want to stay above the 6th seed, if I'm not mistaken, because 7 and 8 are going to have to play against 9 and 10. I think that's how that works. For one single game, play-in game, whoever wins those games moves on and becomes the 7th and 8th seed, going up against the 1st and 2nd seed, respectively. So we expect to win that game, but we don't really want to play in any of those games. We don't want to have anything to do with that. So if we can just, get some cohesive play down there, Dre dominate a little bit while we wait for AD and Braun. We should be okay. Luckily enough, we got us a win yesterday. Last I checked, the Lakers are playing the Magic, and we were up by like 10 at halftime, somewhere in that ballpark. So I'm hopeful that this is a nice little 2-game winning streak. We expect to lose them all, at least we did before today. So any win that we get, we are happy with. But we see teams like the Magic on the docket. We should probably win anyway. So hopefully we've done that. And my name is BDF44. Sorry about the camera. I'm doing too much here. Thank you for watching. I'm out.